sports fans. This is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live this evening. I got my man Mossberg of Level Up Sports 10, also WTP Sports Dudes. How you feeling this evening, bro?
Feeling pretty good, man. I appreciate you having me this evening, man. I feel like it's been forever, man. I know I've been on a different schedule lately, man, but always in the text, man. It's good to see you. I'm just ready to get into what we do best, man, with all these great topics. It's been so much going on in the sports world, but definitely good to see you. How was your day? How you been doing?
I've been good, bro, and I feel like you do, man. I mean, we ain't been able to really get on consistently like we have been for the past, 8 months or so since we started doing this. And I guess, our schedules sometimes they just get busy, man. We can't quite, you know, do it the way we want to. But we're here tonight. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to be here. I'm feeling good, feeling strong. Had a good day of work today, and I'm ready to get into this discussion tonight. We got a variety of topics to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to wait until Fan Duze jumps in here in a little bit before we get into the meat of what we want to talk about tonight. But before we do that, what's your thoughts on the NFL draft last week? Was there anything that shocked you? Was there anything that made you be like, "Whoa, what's going on with that?"
Man,
What's
of
your thoughts?
course, of course, the biggest thing, man, Shador Sanders. Seeing Shador fall that far, for me, it was tough. Just seeing what he did, and of course, everybody else had their thoughts and opinions about it. We all talk about it. We had high hopes for him in the draft, even going first round. So that was something. I was also happy to see the Carolina Panthers get my boy Jimmy Horn Jr. I talk about him a lot, and that Carolina team, some of the moves they've been making, and I think that Carolina team is going to be a team to watch. Also, the fact is we was rooting against so many players, and some of those players, respectively, we have to cheer for this year. For our teams, respectively. And I was thinking about Seth, which we got from Ohio State, being one of those big guys up front. I think he's going to be a great asset as we've gotten Buckeyes over the years on that line, and they fared out pretty good for us. So even on the defensive side of the ball, as we've had Hubbard. So I definitely like, and shout out to your boys, man, getting Cam Ward, and then getting this boy Restrepo. I think you can't go wrong. And FanDuel spoke about him being a sleeper. That makes sense of his pick being a sleeper and him being that sleeper, getting with Cam Ward. So just a couple things I seen in your Texas boys, the Buckeye boys, as well as Michigan Parlay Post guys they was flying off the board left and right, man. So shout out to those guys. And my Seminoles went respectively. I like the way that where they at with the Jets and Thomas, and then the Patriots with our tackle and Farmer. I think he's with a great organization, both guys, to where they can learn from veterans that they have there, but they could definitely make a name for themselves as well. So definitely enjoy seeing the draft as well.
Yeah, this was one of those drafts, man, where there was so much freaking talent, man, that
Yeah,
every team, I feel like every team had a solid draft, man. I
I
don't think there's any team that I can point at and say they got a D or F in this draft. Everybody was, to me, was a C plus or above
yeah.
because this
Even
was just so freaking talented, man. It had so
yeah,
many pieces at all the positions.
yeah,
I mean, of course, you don't see centers getting drafted, um, and I don't think any center got drafted, but three of them got signed to free agent contracts.
yeah.
But outside of centers, every other position, man, there was a plethora of players to choose from, and I think this draft was unbelievable when it came to the amount of talent, amount of skilled players that was in this draft, to where
Yeah.
no one really, to me, had a bad draft. this year. That's very rare. You usually have a team that you'd be like, man, what were you doing with some of these draft picks that you picked?
Not one time we had that this year, and that was just great to see. I like the picks. Even my Bengals got. I'm getting Shamar Stewart. I think getting a player like his caliber. I spoke about him during the season earlier, and just to have him knowing what he brings to the table, I think we definitely got a steal with that 17th pick and bringing him in. I think 17th or 18th. So definitely good to see what we did in the draft as well. See Miss
Yeah,
Robinson here.
what's up to you, with you, Robin? We're glad to see you in here with us again tonight, hanging out with your brothers.
Yes,
And
indeed. Good to see you. Good to see you.
I was very impressed with that draft. We're going to talk a little bit about that Shador Sanders situation a little bit later on in the show. We're also going to talk about LeBron James and his future. We're going to talk a little bit about Quinn Ewers and his situation getting drafted in the sixth round as opposed to
Yeah.
where he was projected at the beginning of the season, possibly being a first or second rounder. And after the Michigan game, possibly being the first quarterback off the board. So
Right.
falling all the way to the sixth round. We're also going to talk about news that came out about the Texas Longhorns having a NIL budget this season, 2025, of 35 to $40 million, and where that relates to other teams and what their NIL budget might be this season, and why it's so freaking high from 23 million last year all the way up to 35, 40 million this year. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So just stick in there with us. Don't go nowhere. Hold tight. As soon as our man FanDuel Zaya gets in, we're going to be talking about some of those things. Let's talk about a little bit about the NBA playoffs before we get into the meat of what we want to talk about tonight. What's your thoughts outside of the Lakers? What's your thoughts on the other games so far?
Man, it's for me, of course we see what Boston and Cleveland up to. Are they on a collision course, to face off against each other? But with, Denver and LA, we've been seeing a different beast in Kawhi. We've been seeing a different beast in Powell. We know what Harden can do, but the type of game Murray had last game, I think we headed to a game 7 series with that game. I got the Clippers, me and Zay spoke on that. We had the Clippers winning that series. I think they can still pull it out. And I have Detroit winning in that series as well. I think they could pull out the back sweep because I think those injuries that the Knicks had with Brunson and Hart, I think is more to Brunson's injury to Hart than Hart, because Brunson got to play. He got to do too much with the ball. And I think Cade Cunningham, he's the type of player, he know you have some type of injury, he's going to go at you more. And, just my thought with the Golden State and Houston series, I think Golden State gets that win tonight. I mean, tomorrow night, but I definitely think we just seeing an overall different beast than what Miami should have laid out in every way for Jimmy Butler. I think Golden State is giving him that. They're giving him the opportunity to be himself. And I think you're seeing it pay dividends, with the way he's just playing overall. I know we've seen it before, but I think he definitely changes that team to make them better and makes them a problem for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We also got our man FanDuel Zaya here in the house with us from WTP Sports Dudes as well. How you feeling this evening, bro?
Man, I'm solid, man. I'm punching the clock. I'm punching off the clock finally for the final time today. I'm starving. I'm hungry. Hey, what's up with that bacon grease? Moss B, you got anything whipped up over there?
Man, listen, man, I'm on an off day. I'm not working late, but I'm on the mornings, man. I done got blessed with that great full-time schedule. So I'm gonna definitely be whipping something up for you on a personal note on some any given Saturday coming soon. But I got you. I'm on an off
Hey,
day.
I'm about to invest into a Blackstone, a new toy, man. You might have to come break it in for me.
Man, I'm gonna break it in and it's on the house, man. It's on me, man. It's good to see you in here, man. I feel like it's been forever, but it's definitely good to see you in here, man, as well.
For sure. Always, though. Always.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you in here too, because you was talking a lot of stuff in that chat today, my brother.
Man, you are the homerest homer out
Oh,
of.
come on.
You know what killed me about you, man?
Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it.
No, this is what killed me about you. See, T1 know he a homer. You don't have no clue that you're a homer. That's what killed me, because at least T1 know, like, I'm a homer. He know, like, he knows it. You don't have no clue or idea that you are.
I got my bag of popcorn ready.
Well, you know, the reality is this. The fact that you two are such homers, I just try to match y'all's homerism. That's all. That's all that is. I'm not really a homer like you two. But y'all go so hard as homers. I gotta try to match y'all's homerism. And that's not even a word, but today it's gonna be a word on our show. Homerism.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to copyright that and create some shirts.
Yes,
Yeah,
indeed,
so,
man.
yeah,
We come up. Yes, indeed. Do not take homerism. We don't want to see a hashtag. It's copywritten. WTP Sports Dudes.
Yeah. Man, what's your thoughts on Halliburton's dad going at what is his name? The Greek Freak, man. What's your thoughts on that? That was crazy, bro. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, being a player, man, like it's like if I'm playing my game, you come at me on the court. I think Halliburton's dad was wrong for approaching him in a factor. A lot of people said Greek said something to him. I didn't see that. I seen his dad approaching him in a way that wasn't respectful, and these are athletes.
I'm out.
It's gonna take for one of them time possibly to go Indiana Pacers, Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, Ron Artest on somebody again for them to really understand. And with this new class of some of these athletes, they do have some of the tempers, and we don't know what's going across their minds, what they thinking about at times. So we got to be careful. I think his dad was wrong. He could have approached it in a different way, maybe. Just my take, my opinion. Now, if there was other things that I didn't see with my own eyes, I had to, totally look at it to understand it more. But he got to do a better job as a dad, be a little more professional as well.
Man, the Greek Freak is 6'11", 260 pounds. I'm about ready. I know that's Tyrese's dad. I'm just talking about other situations. I'm ready to start seeing these specimens give people 2-piece no biscuit and see what happens. I want to see a 2-piece no biscuit with the next intermediate family person that hit the court on one of these big old dudes. We act like these is regular size humans. Y'all approaching. These ain't no regular size dudes. Like what? Man, they be tripping. Listen. You got to bring steel when you're going up against 6'11", 260, not hands.
Yeah, it's just crazy, man. Like it's wild, man. I don't 2-piece biscuit, man. You made me think about your boy Bean, rest in peace, and Chris Childs, where you said the 2-piece biscuit.
Man, when I seen it, man, I wish I was one of those dudes who could have changed the Greek Freak's face to Charles Oakley's face and then have a picture of him slapping folks the way he used to be doing people back in the days, man. Because I'm thinking to myself, dude, if that was Charles Oakley,
man,
he would have knocked your block off.
Yeah.
Knocked your block off.
Yeah.
Him, Mason, Xavier McDaniels, Terry Cummings, them dudes would have knocked his freaking block off, bro. Matter of fact, Charles. He wouldn't even have done it because he already would have known.
Yeah.
These dudes are not going to take that mess. They're going to knock my block off. He wouldn't even did it. He knew the Greek Freak was a nice dude, wasn't going to go that route. But I'm telling you right now, if he would have did the wrong person, he definitely got sent to the Twilight Zone for sure.
Yeah, man. With the quickness, man.
With the quickness.
He'd have been a social media meme that would have probably been a record memes in the next hour. Like it'd have been crazy.
Dominic
And
Wilkins.
the report came out though that he not coming to no games until further notice
Yeah,
for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So they at least they suspended him from the games. They don't want to call it that because of the optics, but that's what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
mm-hmm. Makes sense though.
I mean, Indiana already got experience with some crazy stuff with fans and players and all that, so they already know. I mean, listen, we got to do something. We got to do it quick because we don't want to have another one of them kind of situations, and we don't want to look like we don't want to make the league look like we ain't gonna do nothing because it's Halliburton's daddy. So I was glad they stepped in and went ahead and suspended him for the foreseeable future, man. And that was the right move to make. I mean, dude, and he accepted it too, so that was cool. I guess after a while, he had to realize, hey, I did wrong, man. I can't be doing that kind of stuff, and I could have got my block knocked off.
Yeah, the game will look good on that 82-inch TV he got though.
Yep, easily.
Yeah. Oh man, he probably got a whole wall full.
Miss Robinson,
82 inches.
She said, put that word on the refrigerator in the teacher's lounge. It's 2-piece nugget.
That's no. She's talking about homerism. I'm going to put the word homerism, and I'm going to put the dash, and the definition is Isaiah Brooks and Todd Claiborne Jr.
That's crazy. Where your name at?
We gotta make sure that
I'm only doing it because of y'all two.
Yeah, we gotta copyright. Is it gonna be in the
you
scarlet and gray shirt?
I'm sorry, Mo. Go ahead. My bad, bro.
Nah, you good. He gonna get it in the scarlet and gray shirt, man. I'm just popping off, man.
You probably live in, so just real.
We definitely got to get that copyright on that, man. That's a great one, man, for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, let's get into some of what we want to talk about tonight, man. And we're going to start off with the Shedeur Sanders and the fact that the coach for the freaking Atlanta Falcons son gets his number off of his dad's phone, I guess, and calls him and Crank calls him. What's your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons coach's son and the Crank call to Shedeur Sanders? What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is this, man. We've never, I'm not going to say never seen nothing because word is it was other players getting pranked or whatever, but you're talking about a player of this stature, a player that's coming in highly touted as a top 10 pick, top 5 pick. For him to get a prank call from a number that's not even elite, you got to look up. You got to go from whether it's bottom to the top to the bottom. However you look at it, that was wrong. A player of his caliber, prank calling someone like that, that's just like, being around someone. That's just like a buddy of mine. That's like somebody calling Murph, come over here, play overseas. He would be so stoked about that, but it's not true. You can't do some stuff like that. That's wrong. That's not cool. I think everybody from his son on up should be punished because you, as in your position, with your organization, what are you really doing? That goes to show character of yourself as well, with that number being able to be, leaked to where your son had access to it. So I think it's definitely a lot more punishment that should come outside of what they already have as far as in punishment. They said the organization was getting fined and him as well, but I think there should be a little more penalty coming, along with that. That's you just can't play with somebody's, emotions, and just you can't do that. Ain't no other way to explain it.
Yeah, I feel like this, man. Some stuff is just not funny, bro.
Yeah.
And that right there, you got to say to yourself, Yeah, it might get some laughs, but overall, that's not funny, man. That is not funny to play with, because these guys are waiting on those phone calls, man, and they're excited, they're geek, and then you're gonna crank. Isaiah Bond got done the same way.
Mm-hmm.
That is not cool, bro. And if you're gonna do a prank and you're gonna do a joke on somebody, and you looking at it, and it's gonna be something that's not cool, don't do
Yeah,
it, man. That shit was not cool. I was kind of peed off about it, man,
Yeah.
and it's just not funny, man. It's just not funny, bro.
yeah,
Not funny.
Miss Robin, he about 22, somewhere around there, man. Hey, I, so I like what Dr. Umar said about it for real, man. It gave off slave master mentality from the NFL, bro. Like he was basically talking about like Willie Lynch rules, even though they don't know Willie Lynch was a real slave master, but the theory of Willie Lynch was real, where you take the biggest slave on the plantation and you bring him in front of everybody and you humiliate him. And I felt like that's what pretty much kind of got done. And I feel like they did a few other people like that just to try to throw people off their tracks.
right.
And man, it's just crazy that they just making us know that we still in words in America. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So that's what I got from it for real, for real. It was that whole situation. I still don't understand it. I still don't get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. And their justification will probably be, well, Quinn Ewers fell to the sixth round. He fell further than that. So
right.
we why would we be doing that to him if we doing that to? That would be their excuse. And we all know that those NFL owners, those who were interested in Shador Sanders, even if without them even saying it, we know that them owners called each other and said, "This is what we're gonna do."
Yeah,
Collusion.
Collusion all day, bro. Collusion all day. Which is sad, because the reality is you already know how much money this guy's going to bring in. You know how many jerseys this dude is going to, how many of his jerseys are going to sell?
yeah.
Tons.
Tons of them.
Tons.
And that's also another valid point of why this could have happened, though, because who was going to watch the drive if Shador came off the board third after day one? Because I
Yeah,
probably wasn't. Not me. We all gonna tune into that TV to wait to hear Shador get his name called, because first of all, we all had him going in the first round. Let's start there.
yeah,
That's day one. Day two, you don't go in your third round. We watching. We like, man, he ain't gonna get. I gotta definitely turn it on Saturday. I gotta see where he's going. So it's
yeah,
all ratings too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get money, you collecting a check, but they robbed him out of his money too. You know what I'm saying? They made money off of him and robbed him out of his money.
Yeah,
The crazy thing.
that's a very, very good point, FanDuel said. That's a very, very, very good point. Very good point. Now, we were going to watch it simply because we were trying to get content, but have we not been getting content? You probably right, bro. If he would have won the first round and I wasn't trying to get content, I probably would not have watched after that, because I really
Man,
do.
I promise you, I would have watched day two, but I definitely wouldn't have watched. I watched all of day three, and I wouldn't have watched an inch of day three if Shador wasn't on the board. I would have just went back and did my research and see who went where. I wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah, that's true, bro. That's
And
true.
you know the crazy thing. The crazy thing about it is his boy is playing in the same division as the Falcons. Man, he gonna come out and try to put a torch to them Falcons. Jimmy Horn Jr., man, shout out to you, man. Put work on them Falcons. Nothing against that Falcons team. He gonna come out and put work against them just because of what happened with Shador, man. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. That's just my fella. So I just, like you said, man, you hit it on the head, man. It was wrong in every way. Like, can't do that.
I hope the Browns cut him.
So, do y'all think that $350,000 that was fined to the Atlanta Falcons? Do you think that's too much, too little? What's your thoughts?
Too little. Final more.
I
That's
thought,
nah. You good? Go ahead. It's final more.
yeah, I thought the coach should have got fired. Yeah, they should have took his job. Ain't no way. You know, I be on YouTube going through the shorts. Shador just had got that phone number. You know, how many people had that phone number, bruh?
How many
This
people?
how you know it was all colluded. You know what I mean? He just got it was a brand new phone. Ain't no way they got his number and prank call him. Bro, they did that to embarrass these guys. It was a cold calculated choice by, and this is allegedly, guys, by the NFL and the owners to embed. Because this is my thing. Deion Sanders, we got to think of who Deion Sanders is.
Right.
Deion Sanders is like the new power structure out here in the football world. Man, if they would have let his boy go in the first round to a team that he chose, and then his boy go in there and ball out, they own the NFL.
You know
You
it.
can't tell the Sanders nothing. So, man, he had to get fired. I feel like he should have got fired. $350,000. That's not even a third of his paycheck, probably.
And he already they need to put more respect on these Sanders boys and the prime, Sanders in himself, man. He got both of his boys drafted in the NFL, respectively, one on the Browns, one on the Buccaneers. He was a Hall of Famer. He did his thing. Shut down corner, all-time great corner, greatest corner of all time. And he doing his thing in college, got the prime effect rocking at Colorado. Why they hating on these Sanders boys and this man? Let him do what he doing and keep it moving, man. He's shaking the room on a football level that nobody has done. I don't know. You got to tell me just in my time of seeing it, I don't really see, our kind come in and shake the room like this. And this is going from college and now his son's being drafted into the NFL. This is crazy work, as they say, with some things. This is big business. I wish T1 could come in with his prime gear, with the Colorado setup on. It would be great right now, because this is big business. I think it need to be talked about and discussed more, man, than what they have been talking about it on a level of what's really what when it comes to this situation.
I would like to see the players, because back in the days you had a few. You had Jim Brown, of course. You had Bill Russell. You had a couple of black athletes that were, they were I ain't gonna say really outspoken, but they stood up for things that they felt were right that were being done wrong. When
What's
it came
what's your boy from the NBA? Abdul
Rauf, yeah, Chris Jackson, former Chris
yeah.
Jackson,
Yeah.
yeah. So whenever people like that make their move, now they didn't do anything to Bill Russell, they didn't do anything to Muhammad Ali. Well, they did a little bit to Muhammad Ali,
They
and
tried.
they didn't do anything to Jim Brown. But when it came to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, Craig Hodges, people like that, who they felt like were expendable, they did those things. But now you're starting to see more and more prominent black athletes voice their opinions on these matters. And the reality is, if those players just decide, hey, we're gonna skip out on these millions, we ain't gonna do that no more. We ain't playing no more until y'all start giving us the respect. Those billionaires are gonna lose money, bro, because they still got to pack them stadiums. They're getting cities to build these stadiums on their word that they're going to be able to pay the city back with that revenue. If you decide to sell Jimmy Jones, listen, we ain't coming to Cowboy Stadium no more. We ain't playing no more. Let that stadium rot out.
Sure.
We can always make that sense because the reality is basketball, football, not so much baseball, because baseball ain't really making money like it used to. But those two sports, football and basketball, we run those things, man. If we decide, nah, you're gonna let some black owners get in here. That's gonna be majority owners. Or next time you expand, we want a black ownership of these teams whenever you expand. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and sit this thing out.
Yeah. Big business. I feel you.
We gotta understand how much strength we got, man, in our numbers. And a lot of times we don't see that. Now, if you dealing with us fairly, you ain't got no issues.
Got
But
none
make
else.
it fair, because if you think you're gonna meet this, it's still gonna be a master slave relationship. Now that's out the window, bro. It's out the window. Out the window.
Totally
Anything
agree.
else y'all want to add about that situation with Shador and the Atlanta Falcons coach and his son, Crank Collin, before we go on to the next topic?
I think Zay ready to get to this next few topics.
What's the next topic? What's the next topic?
Well, let's move on to another quarterback. Were all of the quarterbacks picked before Quinn Ewers a better choice?
I think I mean I'm not going to say yes and no. I think we do have some of Cam Ward, of course. I really want to see. I think quarterbacks are fitting where they should fit. I know we talk about Quinn and Will Howard a lot. I think respectively, both of these quarterbacks are coming into situations to where the work that they both put in, they will get out that work they put in. I think, Quinn Ewers is in a situation right where he could be. Tua's been having injuries. It's just that offseason workout and just making yourself better. Work on what makes you better. But I felt there's been a few quarterbacks that's better than him that was selected before him. But as we talked about it, it's a lot of great athletes. Players fitting where they should fit. So it's going to come down to seeing who's ready to put that work in. I think that's what we're going to see this year with the QBs.
I would say the only one that probably was out of place for me. Where did Quinn went last out of all the quarterbacks, didn't he?
He basically went last.
Really, I don't necessarily care that he went last though. I do feel like guys went ahead of him. I just like that he landed in the right spot for what I thought he should have landed. You know what I mean? Fit matters a lot of the times too. So I can't really knock the fact that he didn't go to other teams. Out of all the systems in the NFL, I think he got the right system and the right coach. So yeah, I do feel like he should have went higher, but can I be mad that the team that I said he should go to before the draft came and he landed there in the 7th round? I can't be mad because I want the dude to win. I want the young brother to win. You know what I mean? So I feel like he in the right spot, bro.
Right. And the weather good too for him. So, he don't play too well when that weather get kind of cool. But I think the weather fits him, and, who knows what Miami's going to do this year, knowing the problems that they had over the years as far as into his injury. So, it'll be good for him to have a year learning, but some of these quarterbacks could come in and possibly play just a few games in halfway through the year. We never know, even start the first year.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him go higher, but I think all of those teams drafted a quarterback that they thought fit the system that they run. So I really did like the quarterback from North Dakota State. His upside is high, bro. I really liked him, and he got picked before Quinn Ewers. The Graham Ertz one kind of had me shaking my head because he's been a bum his whole career.
He's trash.
Yeah. I'm like that kind of shocked me, but outside of that, the rest of them, they were basically guys that they knew fit the system, and Quinn didn't necessarily fit their system. So, I mean, I didn't want him to go that late, but, I mean, I was cool with it because he fell, like I said, like Zay said earlier, in the perfect situation for him. Do you think Quinn should have stayed and possibly made that $8 million if he transferred to another school, or do you think he made the right choice by entering the NFL draft?
He absolutely should have stayed in college. Like once you go in the last round, yeah, I mean it solidifies it. Well, you probably should have came back to school. Because 7th round guys aren't guaranteed to make rosters. So he might be on the practice squad. They gonna have to keep him though because they only got 2 quarterbacks on their roster, I believe, which is Zach Wilson and Tua. But
Yeah.
you might have to call that guy up knowing Tua's history. And Zach Wilson ain't nothing. You know what I mean? So they're gonna have to keep him though, but he could have got some money somewhere. That somebody would have took him, bro. Somebody. And so in my estimation, I don't know if he gonna work in the NFL. I like where he at. I think that system fits his skill set. If it don't work there, he probably gonna be out of the league real fast. But he is a great college quarterback, and he could have made some money and made a team a national championship contender this year. And I know that for a fact.
I piggyback with you, and also I say to the fact of being there with Zach Wilson. I hope that environment of Zach Wilson just being around him don't get to him. Knowing what Zach Wilson was a top prospect coming in, and we see what he's fared out to be. I think he should have stayed a year. With the fact of having Arch Manning there, I think that still altered his play throughout the season. Not knowing if he was going to start 1 week, that still has to be in his mind, a lot throughout the last season that's coming in. So I think if he would have stayed, of course, he would have made a bag and some more, possibly with incentives. So I think like Zay said as well, just a fit for Miami. I think he's with the right fit for him to have came out and been selected in the last round. If he would have stayed, I think he would have definitely been the top prospect coming in. No injuries, full health, full strength, no one to worry about, and he could just come out and be himself. So outside of that, I think, we're going to see what he could do.
He wouldn't have been a top prospect in the next draft either, though, Moss. I can almost guarantee you that the dudes next year is way better than the dudes this year.
So I'm just saying. So even if he was healthy and had just a full year under his belt,
even if he was healthy, he'd be even lower on the totem pole next year. He'd be like QB 12. But I can say this: if he would have stayed at Ohio State, he wouldn't have won in the 7th round.
He gonna slide that in there. That's that August 30th talk, ladies and gentlemen. And I just got my bag of popcorn to the side, shooting it through the text whenever it starts. That's all.
I mean, outside of the supposed $8 million that he was supposedly offered, I don't believe that. I don't believe it was $8 million. It's a little bit far. Maybe 4, 5, 6, maybe. $8 million is a little bit too far for me. But outside of that, I don't think he could have went anywhere and improved his ability as a quarterback. I think the improvement that he made in college was as far as he was going to get in college. He needed to go ahead and go on to the NFL and try to improve his game there. He fell into a good spot like we talked about earlier. I felt like he should have just went ahead and went. He's a Texas guy. He always really wanted to play for Texas, even though he went to Ohio State, which was very smart. Not to go to Ohio State to get the money that he got, but to go to the Ohio State University. I mean, hell, they got some of the best quarterbacks, best wide receivers that we've probably seen in the last 10, 15 years, man. So, it was a good thing for him to go to Ohio State. He made an excellent choice there, but he was always a Texas guy. He always wanted to play for Texas. It's just Tom Herman was a jerk. And well, I ain't gonna call Tom Herman a jerk, but Tom Herman messed that up. And he had to end up going somewhere else, man. And I feel like Quinn needed to go ahead on to the NFL and try his shot there. Otherwise, he would have just he definitely wouldn't have been a top quarterback next year because, like Zaya said, guys coming out next year are really, really good. Really good.
Hey, I want to asterisk this moment in WTP Sports Dudes History Podcast. No, just gave Ohio State a compliment that I haven't heard this man give us a compliment. That's why I had to clap it up for y'all. Y'all gotta asterisk this. I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna put that on the short tomorrow.
Man,
Listen, the reason why I don't give y'all a whole lot of compliments because you and your boy T.Y. blow so much Ohio State smoke up our butts that we don't. You don't need nobody to give y'all no compliment.
nobody.
Oh,
What's good, Joshua? Good to see you in
Y'all
here,
should
man.
say Ohio State is overrated.
He said they
yeah.
overrated. That's my guy, man, all the way down there from Florida.
Oh man.
I appreciate you
Overrated.
joining and watching as well. He said, yeah, the chat be crazy, ladies and gentlemen, man. That Ohio State, Texas, Ohio State, man. Whew. I fell asleep earlier, took a nap on the off day from the thread going. I was like, yeah, let me get this bag of popcorn because when I wake up, I know it's going to be good talk. But nah, man, it's always great.
So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors. Our man KT's Good Eats LLC. My man Kevin Bird and his wife Tammy. She's gonna be celebrating her birthday this weekend too. They got a really nice catering business, man, where they cater everything you could imagine, except for that hog. They ain't catering no hog, cuz. So hit them up. You can find them on Instagram at Kevin J. Bird. That's BYRD on Instagram. Kevin J. Bird on Instagram. Hit him up. I'm telling you, their food is banging, bro. It's banging. Also, we got his sister. She owns a energy drink and a nutritional shake shop called Social Nutrition Sips and Good Conversation, right there at 3136 South Hamilton Road, just south of Refugee Road, right down the hill into that plaza, right there behind the old Kmart. I'm telling you right now, that brownie batter and that peach tea is banging. And her shop is really nice, clean. You ain't got to worry about none of that old stuff you might get in some of them other shops. She is very, very personable. Visit them right there, 3136 South Hamilton Road. And my young man, the chief, uh, his apparel line is really, really nice. He can do authentic stuff for you if you need him to. And you can find him at the Chief DECHIEF .5991 on Instagram and TikTok. Get you some authentic apparel from my man, the Chief.
And tell them WTP Sports Dude sent you, man. You ain't getting nothing off though. Support the business.
So that's right. Support the business. But always think when you go to a black business, they got to cut you a deal. No, we need them to stay alive, pay full price, be happy about it, and give them a tip.
Yes, sir.
And give them a tip.
That's how we stay in business.
So a story came out by our man, I think his name might be Tim Bowles. He writes for the Houston Chronicle. I think that's his name. Anyway, he wrote an article saying Texas is going to spend 35 to 40 million this year on their current roster in NIL money. Last year, Texas spent 23 million. This year is upwards of 35 to 40 million. What's your thoughts on that?
That's
Y'all cheating? Y'all cheating?
Man, that's natty money right there. They got to come out. They got to come out August 30th. Excuse me, Zay, for saying this. No offense. They got a BTA. 35, 40 million. Man, that's crazy. That's a lot of bread. That's a lot of bread. Man, everything big in Texas, though.
They say everything is bigger in Texas, as the saying go. Man, that's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. We're gonna have to salary cap this thing. And if you pass a certain point, we might have to luxury tax it. You know, if you want a nicer car than everybody else, your brake pads should be higher. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I'm saying. That's crazy. I wonder what we spending. I know we ain't spending 40 million. We was in the red last year. We not spending 40 million, but we got that natty money, so it's possible. But I don't know, man. That's it. Just that blow my mind to think of $40 million. That's up 45-48% of what y'all spent last year. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
almost a whole 30 million more than Florida State, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of bread.
I said this to No earlier. I was like, really, I want to know what Oregon is spending. If they spending 40, I want to know what Phil Knight is spending.
Man,
because he got deeper pockets than everybody.
And you said this, like when we talked about it, they have to put a cap. They got to do something because of the fact that it could get to this point about that NIL reaching big amounts of money. You know, that's insane. That's a lot of money. And these is kids that we talking about.
You know, and every year the market is going up. So if they don't get this thing under control, man, it's really going to get ridiculous, because if you're one of those schools and you got donors who got unlimited money, bro, this thing can balloon out of control, bro, out of control. And the NCAA has really done a disservice to any schools that got to spend that kind of money, man, in order to fill their roster. I think that's a lot of bread. I'm glad that the kids are getting it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's going to really, really create a whole lot of issues if they don't get this thing under control, man. Because right now, looking at that 35 to 40 million, that's out of control. Yeah. That's out of control, bro.
We got to think of this, man. We got to think of this, too. When you crunch the numbers, and I'm just talking average. I know it might be one dude on your roster making more than the other dude, but on average, if you are paying $40 million to your roster, that means every kid is making $2.6 million on average. That's ridiculous. You get what I'm saying? Now, that's the ridiculous part for me. That's a little ridiculous.
Man.
You talk about out of the 22?
I meant 265,000.
Okay.
200.
That's still a lot of bread.
Yeah, that's a lot of bread.
But that's not even for a year.
But you listen, this the problem where it gets scary for me though, and this is on a whole different lane of it. Financial literacy is not high. Kids at 18, you think they know what to do with $250,000? No, I don't. I think they want to buy fast cars and drive them fast and wreck them. You know, so we got to implement a system too, to where we teaching them before they even touch this money. This is how you financially. This is how you keep financial health. This is how you do this with this money. You know what I'm saying? Don't go spending all this money on these silly cars that lose and depreciate in value. You know what I mean? You got to teach certain things when it comes with this money. You can't just hand the money over, because you said no, our kids are for failure, and that's just a fact.
Yeah. Before we go to the next question that I had in the chat, let's look at what our man Joshua said. He said most of these kids don't have fundamentals. You agree or disagree?
I disagree. I think kids are playing more football than ever with 7-on-7 and stuff like that. We got all these different football camps. I think kids are way more fun. I think back in the day when you wasn't as resourced, people were playing just off of natural skill and talent more than ever. You know what I mean? Now you got all types of football camps. The lady at our job just sent her son to a camp with Caleb Downs and Carnell Tate, and he only 9 years old or something like that. You know what I mean? So I think kids is getting fundamental work early, way earlier than what they ever would have back in the day. It's way more resources out here.
I'm gonna say 50-50. I think sometimes, like, I agree with you too, Zay. Like, I'm not disagreeing. I just say that based on some of the things that I've seen. Like, I do see kids go to some of those camps, but then they may get with an organization and they're not getting that same fundamental teaching that they was getting. So, you know, I'm on both sides. Sometimes they do get the fundamentals, sometimes they don't. But then again, with this NIL money, you know, involved, you know, you got these guys that come in as top rate, you know, and they get paid this money, but then we sitting back like, man, where's this 4 or 5 star? You know, nothing against, them players and what they do respectively, but sometimes that money could be something. I don't know if that's what he's mentioning when it comes to the fundamentals or not, but that's just something that I'm thinking about as well. It kind of pushes them away from what they're really great at doing. It kind of slows it. So just my opinion on it.
He also said, "Oh, my bad. They do, my bad." Their development has been shot because they're getting paid.
Now, I do agree with that statement. I think it's a point where it's a development stage, and then when money starts to become involved, people get lazy and they stop working on their craft. I can get on board with that. But as far as leading up to you being able to be good enough to even get that bag, I think the fundamentals is really being a heavy teach. But once they get bags, nah, what else you need? Like, you think you made it once you get that bag and you that young. You gonna stop putting in the same work. I mean, you got your outliers, your guys that's still hungry for more and really love the sport and stuff, but I would think it's the more of the majority than that isn't putting in that same work after they get paid than that are. You know what I mean? So I agree more with that statement than the first one.
Same here. Agreed all the way across the board. We see it every day. Florida State, Akeem Williams, you came in 4 or 5 star, you just transferred. So for me, that says it.
Well, I mean, maybe it's happening at some of those lower schools, but I don't see that happening at Ohio State. I haven't seen that happen in the past 3 or 4 years at Texas. I don't see it at Georgia. I don't see it at Alabama. I don't know, man.
Well, you talking about when you get the list of names, now you just putting your hand in the bucket and you reading off the names, but that's a small percentage. That's not the majority of we talking about traditionalized schools right now that we referring to. Like, you talk about you going to Texas, Ohio State, you're going against the best facilities, the best coaches, the best players. So they only recruiting certain character guys in the first place. If you go to somebody's school, you recruiting them and you want them to come play running back for you, and you like, and you recruit for Texas, you like, all right, what kind of character is he? If they tell you he the last one in the door, then you already know he only playing off of his skill. He not playing off of his work. Hard work beats talent every day. That's what they used to always preach to us when we was younger. You know what I mean? So, we recruit talented guys, but we also recruit character at these schools that you just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? That's what separate the Bamas and the Texas and Ohio States from everybody else. It's the character guys that they got in their programs.
Okay, cool. That's a good clarification question. I mean, an answer for me, bro. I appreciate that. Let me ask y'all this. Now, we talked about Texas being 35, 40 million. Are there other teams that are going to be in that same ballpark?
Absolutely. The Texas ain't the only ones with money.
You said it. Oregon, for sure. Oregon, Ohio State. I'm not going to say Ohio State's not. You coming off a natty. You coming in with the recruit class you coming in with, and to follow up, I mean, it's money all over there, man. I've been just seeing this campus craze for the last week, man. When I get up in the morning, they up. When I come from work, they still up. Like, just moving, man. It's pretty busy down here. I'm starting to feel that little atmosphere as we get close to August down here, bro. It'd be crazy. So I think they definitely building up for that NIL money for sure.
Man, so Texas is going to be a school that I'm going to feel like going to be in the top 10 every year, But I also feel like this too. Now, Texas might spend $40 million. That might come out to be number 1 this year, right? But Texas is also a school that this year I feel like should be all in on a championship. You know what I mean? So you might spend an extra couple dollars that you got laying around, but next year you might pull it back. You know what I'm saying? Depending upon who you lose and what. But when you feel like you got a constructed team that's ready for a natty, you go all in. We did it last year. You go all in. So, I mean, I don't think the number is going to be 40 every year. I think it's going to be north of 20 though. That's good enough for top 10 alone. 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Post Game, man. What said what it do, man. Appreciate you tuning in and watching, man. Be glad
What
you're
up,
able to
Coach
tune
Gang?
in this evening as well, my brother.
Yeah, good to see you in here, bro. Now, is it really NIL or is this pay for play in college athletics?
It's a great question.
Man, this is pay for play. Y'all starting to see it already. They hiring GMs. You know what I mean? Well, Andrew Luck went to Stanford. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all starting to see it all across. Who on the basketball side? Steph Curry went to Davidson. You know what I'm saying?
Got Shaq up here at Sacramento State. He done brought Mikey Williams over there with him.
Exactly. And they done got Jaden Rashida from Georgia. He was a 5-star quarterback that went to Georgia. He transferred somewhere else. They got him on the football side at Sacramento State. So, bro, y'all already seeing it, man. The only thing now we need is some of these billionaires to come into the sport and change around some of these stadiums and change the names on them and throw some money into it. You know what I mean? That's all we missing.
Yeah. Even some of them trillionaires, man. Don't just talk about the billionaires. We got some of them trillionaires out here too in the world, man. Can't forget about them guys. They got enough to feed the homeless all over the world and still have much money in their pocket. But I'm gonna just keep that talk for another day.
Y'all said players get unhappy, and when things aren't going their way, they want to enter the transfer portal. Is that a common thing, or is that just for certain level schools? Because I don't see that happening at Ohio State. I don't see that happening at Texas. I don't see that happening at Georgia.
I think it's necessarily. I think it's just the fact of like when you go, man, you got to work. You can't go to Ohio State, just put on a book bag, say you on a football team, and go to practice 3 times a week, or say you got class when you're supposed to be at practice. Because that dude behind you, he gonna be going to practice 4 to 5 times a week, if not 7 days, trying to work out, get his body right. So I think it plays a part in everything. You can't just go to any school and just half-ass your football or basketball because somebody there that's behind you, they ready. They wanting to play. They came to play what they're there for. You know, it's just gonna show who has a love for it and who gonna sacrifice.
Yeah, this is a good question. Well, statement or however you want to say it. I feel like a study need to be done to actually get to the bottom of this one, honestly, because really we hear about the prevalent ones like the big names, the Nikos, and we don't hear about the little dude. You know what I mean? The dude that was third on the depth chart and he feel like he ain't getting a fair shot. You know what I mean? So I really don't know how to answer this question. So I'm just gonna say I guess kids, they just got to keep doing what's best for them until we figure out some rules and regulations of this transfer portal. But one thing I do know that needs to happen, and I'm talking to the Big Ten off jump. I think they need to get with the SEC and implement a rule that the SEC has, and we will see less transfer portal action. The SEC don't allow their kids to transfer in the spring portal to a SEC school. I like that rule. Nope, because we done seen a few guys hop in the portal in the Big Ten and go to another Big Ten school. But a lot of these schools in the Big Ten, most of them, the majority of them are Midwest schools. So a lot of these kids probably want to stay on the Midwest in my estimation. But I feel like if they made the rules the same for both conferences, you'll see less transferring. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think the Big Ten and the SEC got to get on the same page when it comes to transfer portal rules. And I think we'll see less because them are the 2 main dominant conferences. If they can control the majority of things, and everything else will fall in line.
Yeah, you see them get something going. If they make some kind of agreement, you'll definitely see it happen all over. I agree too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you look at the smaller schools, even in the Big Ten, even in the SEC, even in the ACC and the Big 12, the ones who are down towards the bottom, I don't necessarily think those guys are unhappy, but they feel like, hey, listen, I did a good enough job at this team last year. I still got some eligibility. Let me see if I can go in the upper levels of these teams in my conference or in another conference and get some more money and play at a higher level than what I am here. Like take Purdue, for instance. A bunch of their dudes hit the portal. We were after their tight end. He ended up going to Ohio State. But we wanted that tight end bad, bro. We was willing to give him what he wanted. But I think he felt more comfortable in the Big Ten, and he went to a just as good a situation at Ohio State as he would have been.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't know y'all was in recruiting on him. I'm happy he ain't go to y'all because y'all got the perfect offense for him.
Yeah. Oh man, we was in on him tough, bro.
He probably should have went to y'all for real if I was him, because he really got first round written on him too. I ain't mentioned him the other day, but he really got first round mentioned on him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about our last topic, man. And we saved this one for last because somebody said they're going in on this dude, but I don't know.
I'm gonna take it light on him, man.
Man.
Is LeBron finally looking his age?
Zay, man, I'm gonna let you have the floor right now, man. I'm gonna let you have it. I'm gonna just say a simple yes, but it's some things to talk about with that one.
Man, this is y'all's goat, man. This is y'all's goat. I'm talking to the majority of the world. Okay, this is y'all's goat. Dude has never been like that for real. You know what I mean? Like he's never really been like that. Like, what goat y'all know lose in the first round with a unanimous top 7 player in the league? Just wait. I'll wait on it. Y'all can't tell me not one. Just tell me one though.
LeBron James, because he's the only one at 40 years old that's even making it to the playoffs.
I said goat. I said a goat.
Kobe and Jordan didn't even make the playoffs.
LeBron made the playoffs in 18? No. Did LeBron make the playoffs in 21? No.
He made the playoffs in 2025 at 40 or 41 years old is what I'm saying.
Hey, this is y'all's GOAT. Goats don't lose in the first round, man. They don't do it. Not when they got when Kobe lost in the first round, his second best player was Lamar Odom. When Jordan lost in the first round, he didn't have another all-star with him. Dudes don't lose in the first round, man. Not the first round, bro. I don't care who on the other side of the barrel. Not the first round. I don't care.
The reason I say yes to him looking his age, of course everybody knows where he's at. But with the team he has, and the thing I noticed since LeBron's been away from the ball more since Luka arrived, it's like he's moving around. He's not able to have that ball a lot. So then again, Anthony Edwards, pushing on him and doing what he do. This is something, and we talked about this in the text. I think the NBA has been needing something like this. Seeing someone at their, LeBron respectively is still playing at a high ceiling, for him to be at his age respectively. And to see someone go at everyone's GOAT, as they said, they feel today, to see someone go at him like this, I think that's what's wearing on him more. Just my opinion. I think you send him somewhere else, maybe go home. And I don't know, man. So he's definitely looking his age. I will say that. And
he playing the wrong position right now. That's the problem.
Yeah, just respective great career that he's been putting on, man. So no disrespect of saying that he's looking his age. I still love what he's bringing to the game. I'll be looking to see that playoff Bron. He gave me that in every game at Minnesota. When he plays at home in the playoffs, he's not that same Bron that we see like we've seen at Minnesota hitting threes like that. I don't know, just my opinion. I like him on the road, different Bron. But seeing looks of him over the past years, it's not that same look that I seen this year. And that's what makes me, wrap that statement up more and say, yes, he's looking, a little older. That's all.
Hey, listen, all jokes aside, though, I want to be serious, though. He still got something left in the tank.
Oh yeah, Tank still. I'm gonna say it's Tank over 75, bro. His Tank still close to.
He
I'm
ain't
gonna
got
give him 80.
75%
I'm
gas
gonna
in
give
the
him
tank.
80 on this Tank. I'm gonna give him 80 with a
I
healthy,
give him about
ground.
I give him about a 30% tank full. He got about 30%. That'll get him a good 2 years left, where he could be a third star. You know what I mean? After them 2 years, he might as well hang it up because he ain't gonna have nothing left for real. You know what I mean? But in all seriousness, really, we see the team. The only thing the team is missing is a big, and we would have went to the finals, bro. I'm telling you, if we get a big this summer, this team, it currently constructed, it will go to the finals next year. All we need is a big. We tried to get one, but Mark Williams ain't passed his physical. We tried to get one.
Before we go to what post-game statement, what position should LeBron James be playing? Because you said he's not playing the right position. What position should he be playing?
He got to play the three because, and hear me out when I say this, it's so much small ball basketball. You got to use his physical nature as intimidation for opponents. You can't match him up with a Julius Randle. Julius Randle got the same strength you got. You got to put him in a position to where he could use his strength as his advantage because that's his game. You know what I mean? So a lot of threes are not as strong as LeBron. He either taller than him, or he bigger than him, or he's stronger than him. It's simple as that. He'll be able to use his physique to actually control and dominate the painted area. But you playing him at forward, now you got him going up against guys that's the same size as him, the same speed as him, the same, you know what I mean? They perimeter dudes. They 6'9", they 260. That's what Julius Randle is. You're not giving him the advantage. He 40, bro. He need the advantage, if not more than ever. You know what I'm saying? So you got to play him at the three. I would even play him at point guard at times. You know what I mean? Especially when you're dealing with a point guard that you don't really care about shooting too much. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Like, why wouldn't we play him with Luka, Dorian Finney-Smith, Vando, and then another big? Why wouldn't we do that? Who is Mike Conley going to guard? Who is he going to guard? You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to put Mike Conley on somebody. That's the only thing I'm thinking. Like, you got to start getting creative with your 2K roster. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Moss, people used to love putting LeBron at point guard on 2K. You know what I'm saying? It be like, you cheating. Like, come on, bro. Like, this, you got to just mix it up. Like, you got to mix it up.
Put that little guy down on the post on him. And I just think he needed more help, man. I think on the defensive side of the ball, he needed more help. It's just, I mean, for me to see him play the way he's playing at this age, I think a lot of it, just thinking as we talking, man, a lot of it, him looking at his age is the wear and tear, the stress on the season. It's an 82-game season, not to mention it goes to almost 100 plus at times, and he's been playing a long time. So wanting to get to the finals, planning and putting your all in, especially when you're in the off season, not to mention everything, going on with he's dealt with his son this year coming into the league and everything else, along with his other son possibly coming in the next couple of years. So, I mean, it's a lot. And
he waiting for Bryce.
Yeah, I applaud the man for what he's doing, and good luck to us seeing somebody else do this. So I think we got to enjoy it, for what it's worth, and keep giving us that good goatness, that unk feel that you are. I got you third on the list, but I respect everything you have brought to this game career-wise, LeBron. You got it when it comes to that career. But GOAT-wise, I got you at 3. Respect.
He 11.
So post game is I believe he's saying this to me. Kobe and Jordan would have made the playoffs with Anthony Davis or Luka, sir. Now listen. Are we talking about 40-year-old Kobe and a 40-year-old Jordan making the playoffs with him? Probably so. I'm going to say yes to that. But listen, I guarantee you, Jordan would have wanted to slap the shit out of Luka because he don't play no D.
Man.
And you already know Kobe would have been on both of them too. Like, dude, listen, we need more out of you. Both of them dudes would have been in their chest like, listen, we need more out of you. Luka don't play no D, and then LeBron can't play D because he's so old against these guys. You got to put him in the right situation. That's a liability with both of them dudes on the floor at the same time. I hope they would have made Luka better post game. I really do hope that they would have made Luka better because LeBron, I thought he was in the beginning, but it didn't look like that in the playoffs. But I agree with you. They probably would have made Luka better because I feel like they would have been in Luka's ass every day in the locker room. Like, listen, we need you to do this, and this. Whereas LeBron probably doesn't have that kind of demeanor. So I tend to agree with you on that one.
I could imagine how that locker room would look. MJ, man, whew, that'd be lighting his ass up.
Yeah. Would you like to see LeBron James opt out and go to another team?
Ooh. Me personally? Go ahead, Zay.
Ooh, go ahead. I'll talk after
you. I was going to say you for last because you're an LA fan, Zay. I think you might want to hear this one. Me, I would love to see LeBron pack it up. Get your bag, boss. Bring your luggage on home. Go on a little something called a farewell tour. I don't know. It's just something I like about it. And I think it would put LA in a position to have more coming in than him going. Now, I think you leaving both parties happy. Why not go to Cleveland, be that second, possibly third option, like you mentioned? Let it go at home. I think he would leave it all on the floor at home in Cleveland. Nothing against LA. You know, it's kind of the trend. You know, when that time comes, everybody leaving and going elsewhere. He brought a championship to him, whether it was a bubble or not. Just my opinion.
Nah, I don't want to see him go nowhere. I want to see him take a pay cut. I think he need to take maybe a $20 million pay cut. Go ahead, collect $35 million this year. Help out the team. You know, you always say it was a report that came out. He said anytime he don't make it to the finals or don't win a championship, it's a failed season. So if you still got that same mindset, take a pay cut. Let's see you take a pay cut and put your money where your mouth is. It ain't like you losing money. You got the studios going on. You in LA. You making hella money on the side. You ain't losing out on that. 20 million is like pennies, bro. Just take the pay cut. I know he ain't never taken a pay cut. I don't think he deserved to take a pay cut either. I'm just saying, if I'm in somebody's shoes like LeBron, if I wanted to win that bad, and which we could, if he just took a pay cut. If he took a $20 million pay cut, you save $20 million. That's two dudes you can go out and get. I got two names for you, Andre Drummond and Steven Adams. Both of them will probably be excited and ecstatic to come to LA to hopefully win a championship. Maybe less of Steven Adams because he's in a good situation over in Houston. But Andre Drummond is done with Philly. He don't want to be in Philly no more. And all you got to tell him he going to get some burn? Yeah. Take a pay cut, bro.
What happened with the Mark Williams deal that got rescinded? What happened with that?
He failed his physical.
Oh, he failed his physical. Okay.
Yeah.
Post game.
Yeah, I thought that he would take a pay cut too.
And two post game, just to tap on, you said Giannis would be able to come in. It's not that easy, bro. Not with the CBA rules. We're like 30 million over the salary cap, bro. So that means even if LeBron did opt out of his deal, we'll only be 20 million under the salary cap. We wouldn't be able to sign Giannis. We'll have to make some moves. We have to make some roster changes. We have to get rid of 2 more guys still. Maybe Rui and a Vando or AR, a combination. I'm just saying, like, that's tough. I'd rather you just take a pay cut, bro. Or sign, or see if you can sign one of these dudes to a veteran minimum. You know what I mean? Because that's the only way we're gonna get some bigs, but we ain't gonna be able to just get Giannis. Like, it have to be a sign and trade, and we know the league, LA's price and the league price is 2 different things. They gonna wax us.
Last question for me, man. Should LeBron go on his farewell tour next season and retire?
Yeah, man. As much as I love what he's still bringing to the game and doing with the game, I would love to see him go on a farewell tour. I mean, I think it's better for him to go on one sooner than later. Because if he's going to be out west, Anthony Edwards out west, Shy out west, that farewell tour not going to look like the farewell tour that everybody would like for it to be. So, just me personally, even if he's, I don't know, I just would like to see it sooner than later. I'm going to just say that, sooner than later. Just been a great career. Some of the things he did this past season, I was like, man, could this be a farewell tour? I said, he got to pack it up next year, man. I think this is the time where he go have that crazy offseason. Give us that farewell tour. He already shooting them from half on the pull-up. Give us a little bit of all that next year, LeBron, from half, from the hash, classic fast break, iconic dunk, the windmill reverse, the crossover, the dunk on the 7-footer, all that. Give us all that next year for the farewell tour. We'll love it. That's a great way to exit. Possibly a championship, depending on what the Lakers do. I don't know.
LeBron, opt out your contract. Do a 1-and-1 again. 1-year player option. Go smoke a cigar and spend some time with your wife. Rest up. You shouldn't have played in the Olympics. That's probably why you ran out of gas. Go to Germany. Go get some of your robot parts fixed. And come back ready to go. Come back ready to go. Ain't no farewell tour. You got 2 more seasons, bro, to get you 1 more chip. All you need is 1 more. You better get it before Stephen Curry, because I'm banking on you too. Because if not, I will forever say Stephen Curry was a better player of his generation than you were. And I think Steph Curry getting him 1 more. So you better get it before him. You got 2 years.
It's farewell tour time, bro. LeBron, like my man post game said, you had a great career. Next season, farewell tour. You ain't gonna be able to be there. You don't need to be there when Bryce comes the following year. Go ahead and get it over with, man. Sit on the throne. Go sit on somebody's bench and coach. Go into your studio. Do something other than play basketball, bro. You can go ahead and hang it up. It's okay. You did your thing. Pass the torch. Farewell tour 2026. LeBron James. It's over, baby. So
he averaged 25, 8, and 8.
I don't care. It's time to go out on top. Barry Sanders, Megatron, they went out on top. LeBron James, go out on top as the person who had one of the greatest careers ever in NBA history, ever in sports history. Go ahead, farewell tour next year. LeBron, hang it up, bro. Hang it up. And then cut your hair bald because you need to.
You're going to be rocking them hats for sure.
But let me ask y'all this too, in all honesty. I know we wrapping it up. That $100 million is real enticing.
For sure.
LeBron signing for $50 million a year now. Y'all just telling him to leave $100 million on the table because it's right there waiting for it. I mean, what y'all doing? Doing?
My thing is, I mean, what are you gonna do with the $50 million?
He trying to buy a team. Bro.
Oh, man, man, he the king, man. Come sign this contract, man. Come sign this contract, man. We know what you're gonna do. Come sign this contract, bro.
I mean, he signed it for $50 million, but he only probably bringing home 25 of it, if not less than a little bit less than that.
We know the taxes.
I mean, the reality is, man, ain't no need him going to put all that work on his body again. Go ahead, get in your studio, start making movies, whatever you're gonna do, man. But go ahead and make that money somewhere else. Let somebody else come into the Lakers organization and do their thing. It's time for him to hang it up, man. Time for him to hang it up.
He done created over $1 billion in endorsements and over $500 million in NBA contracts. I think 100 more million, and I think he ready. He can get his group together. All right, and then you can retire, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Said 100 million.
Yeah,
I like to see him do it. I really do believe there should be a majority. I mean, shit, I don't care. It should be all black owners on one of those teams. It should be all black owners, bro.
It's coming. It's
I
coming.
sure hope so.
Next 5 years. Mark my words.
I sure hope so. I mean, NFL and the NBA need to make that happen, where there's an organization, there's a team that has all black owners. It's only right. It's only right. And then baseball, you got to make sure you get an all Latino or Hispanic team and owner out there because they running baseball right now. All right, Joe, that's all I had, man. I just wanted to get on with us tonight because we all been so busy. We ain't been able to get together as a group. I don't know what Saturday morning is going to be looking like for y'all, but I'm able to go at 10, I believe. But I know y'all might be working though.
I'll be there because I'm weekend mornings too, so I'll be Saturday morning. I'm gonna try to jump on that afternoon. I mean, like that evening, if possible too. Try to talk about a little something for sure Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to join. I'll be on the clock from 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. though.
Ooh, I forgot you start. Yeah, I forgot. I'll text you.
Hey, I'm working. I literally 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. I'm going hard on Saturday. You heard me?
Yeah, I forgot that one.
Hey, this is when I run my coin up. No, this is the summertime, man. I'm trying to stay out the way, man.
Yeah, run your coin up and break your damn back.
Yeah, I'm young. I can still do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I
gotta do it while I can do it.
You're only 12.
I gotta do it while I can do it. I'm trying to tell you something.
I'm on the back end of my career, man. So I know how you feel, bro. When I was young, I was doing 3 jobs too, man, when I was your age. But I'm on the back end of my career, man, and I'm like, hell no, I ain't doing none of that.
Yeah, I definitely in the evening Saturday because it should be a game 1. Forget which game gonna be Saturday in one of these series.
I mean, even if we can't go in the morning, we could try to figure out something in the evening too.
I should be able to go though at 10 because I'll be at an event and we ain't gonna be doing nothing. But hey, in chat, I want y'all to pay attention to the channels. I will be trolling. I'm creating a live stream for August 31st about who's gonna be wearing what shirt. So make sure you hit the notification reminder and just tap into that. I'm gonna leave it there too, man. It's gonna be set for 9 a.m.
This is months ahead, and he already. When I say they be lighting up the chat with this August 30th talk, this OSU Texas, man. This is, I don't know how much the sports world is talking about it, but we talking about it literally every day, 24/7, man.
So see, he's waiting till the 31st because he's gonna need some. Even if there is 31 days in August, I don't know. But listen, he needs some recovery time. That's why he's talking next day. I'm telling you, if they play at noon, I'm getting on at 4 o'clock talking.
4 o'clock.
If they play at 3:30, I'm getting on that 7 o'clock talking shit. And if they play at night,
so what you
I'm
saying
getting on
is
that midnight talking.
no.
I ain't wasting no time bashing them Buckeyes in the head.
So
I'm getting on as soon as it's over with. I'm bashing heads. Right.
So what you saying is when y'all lose, you putting that shirt on at 4 o'clock? Is that the new deal?
No, what I'm saying to you is after we beat y'all, I'm getting on live and I'm talking cash shit.
Now, if y'all lose though, right? Are you putting that shirt on at 4 o'clock? Are you still getting on live and putting that shirt on at 4 o'clock? Because you got to make it.
If you on there, the next time you get on, if we lose the next time you get on, I'm getting on there with you with an Ohio State shirt on.
Oh, you getting on at 4 o'clock?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have my bag of popcorn right there.
There it is.
I'm gonna have to get some of that Ohio State pizza.
Yeah.
Don't eat that stuff. That's garbage.
Nah, I love that greasy
cheese, just the
pizza,
cheese,
man.
just the cheese. I'm trying to stay away from the pepperoni.
I love that greasy pizza.
Yeah.
Right.
Get the popcorn ready because it's on and popping.
For sure, man. It was good to be on here with you fellas, man.
Yeah, good to see y'all this evening,
man. For sure, man. Great to see y'all, man.
And we out, y'all.
As we always do.
Peace.
Peace.